Hello everyone. So my primary goal for today's video was to share with you guys this Hey Honey Trick and Treat CC Squared Active Moisturizing Cream. It's a color correcting cream which I purchased in the shade Light, and I wanted to do an application and review of that product for you, but it also just so happens that I have to get ready to go out for a birthday dinner, my birthday dinner. So I thought that I would just turn the whole thing into a little bit of a get ready with me and feature the Hey Honey CC cream as sort of my foundation for the night. So what I'm starting with is this Nars Radiant Creamy Color Corrector, which I did a review of, and I have continued to use it because I purchased it, so why not? My initial conclusion with this was that if you have a really good concealer, it's not necessarily worth buying the Nars Color Corrector as well. But as I've continued to use it, it is a good product. It does do what it says it's going to do, so it's not that I don't recommend it. I just, when it runs out, am I going to buy a new tube of it? Probably not. So my under eye concealer, I'm still using the Clinique Line Smoothing Concealer. I just love how this one blends out, and I love how it makes my eyes look. You know, I do have some fine lines underneath my lower lash line, which if you put concealer on the wrong way, or you put too much of it on, or you don't have a very good formulation, you're just gonna end up with issues there, and I just don't want my eyes to look any more aged than they need to. With concealer as well, I do just tap it out with my ring finger for the most part. I find that sponges are good for blending, sort of, but the real purpose of a sponge is to soak up extra product. And again, I feel like if you've got a good formula with your concealer, you can just blend it out with your finger. So there we go. I've got a nice, bright, concealed under eye area. No more of those dark circles there. And now I'm going to go in with, next I'm going to go in with the Jones Road Beauty Brow Pencil. It's a very natural looking finish on your brow pencil. Here, hang on a second. I need to... There we go, that's a little bit better. I feel like maybe you can see what I'm doing a little bit better that way. It's a very natural fill brow pencil. It's just kind of like a chubby crayon like this, as you can see. And it just gives me a little bit of a fuller eyebrow, kind of fills in some of those more sparse areas. And I am using this in shade Blonde, which I like because I feel like so many brow pencils I've tried in the past in the shade Blonde do nothing or look quite orange. This actually is like a nice ashy blonde, so I don't end up having to get like brown or soft brown or, you know, end up with dark brown eyebrows even though my hair is blonde. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with the Honey CC cream. So it's really, really good stuff. If you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen me share this on my stories one of the days that I've used this, because I have had an opportunity to use it a few times, and I just said that I didn't think a CC cream could do what this product does. So it is nice and thick. I'll just do what I typically would do for you guys on a foundation test. So there it is. It's moving a little bit. We're getting a little bit of slippage there down the back of my hand, but it is not thin or watery. It feels very weightless, very cloud-like on the back of my hand. And I have been able to apply with a brush. And you guys, it's a CC cream that goes on, I feel like a foundation. So in terms of coverage, is it the same as like a full coverage foundation? No, it's not. But it has this really nice glowy finish to it. And you do get coverage. If you've watched my channel for a while, you know that when it comes to things like CC creams and tinted serums and all of that, I don't really love them. I don't really see the point. If I'm gonna apply makeup, I want to know that I've done something. But you guys, look at that gorgeous, dewy sheen. Like, look at how awake this side of my face looks compared to this side of my face. It plumps the skin. It gives it a really youthful, well-rested appearance. And again, I'm getting some nice coverage. It's just really, really impressive as a CC cream. So obviously this is not a wear test, but as I mentioned, I have worn this before. So what I can tell you in terms of its wearability is it's not a foundation. It doesn't have the ingredients that a foundation has that are gonna make it set up on your skin and last all day, because you are getting this nice like plumped, hydrated, dewy effect on the skin. And as you know, I've got the oily skin to contend with as well. So it definitely doesn't last as long as a foundation, but since I'm putting myself together to go out for a nice dinner, something like this is gonna keep my skin feeling good and hydrated when I don't really wanna put on a really thick or heavy foundation. It's been raining all day, it's very humid and hot here, so I don't really need anything super heavy, and I just wanna look fresh and bright and ready for an evening out. So I am gonna go in with a little bit of setting powder so that way I can put my bronzer and blush and other products on my face. So I still use the Ciate London translucent setting powder, but I think they either changed or discontinued this formula because I have about half of my container here left, and I bought this ages ago. And when I've tried to link this for you guys, I have not been able to find it. So I don't know what they have done or changed with their formulas. It's been a while since I've looked because I've been experimenting with so many other setting powders to see if I could find another one that I like as much. Hi Maeve, my kitten just joined me in my little room here. The other setting powder I've been talking about on my channel a lot this summer is the Bare Minerals Mineral Veil. I have found that that one works really, really well for me. And I like that one as well because I feel like it doesn't completely undo a nice dewy radiance like I'm getting with this product. The Ciate London is a little bit more mattifying, and I'm going for that one this evening because like I said, it's been raining for about 24 hours without stopping. No, I don't live in Seattle, and it's very, very humid, so I need a little bit of extra powder power on my skin today. For blush, I'm going to be using the Foroscope Earth Angel palette from Benefit Beauty. I combine this sort of peachy shimmery blush in the top corner with the Dandelion, I think that was what it was called, blush down in the corner, and it just, that combination keeps it from pooling too pink on my cheek, but I find gives me a nice lift. And you'll notice on my face shape, I don't like to bring blush too far in. Notice it's really no further in than the iris of my eye. That keeps everything from falling down and inward. When you're using these cheek products, you want it to keep your face lifted and give your face sort of like a bright, light look. And bringing those colors down too far onto the cheek, it's just creating a weighted, darkened look towards the center of the face. And you really want to keep a lot of light there in the center of the face. Think about it as you're walking towards a ring light. That's the first place the light is hitting, and then the shadows and the color play is going to be falling away from your face. So that's just a little tip, little application trick. It's very easy to get carried away, especially with blush, bronzers, contours, and pulling it too far forward on the face. And for bronzer tonight, I'm going to use an oldie but a goodie. This was a long-standing favorite of mine. This is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Bronzer in the shade Diffused Bronze Light. It's very, very light, very soft, which I prefer for my fair skin. But I've just always loved how the Hourglass blends just seamlessly, just beautifully. And since it has that sort of diffused light thing going on with it, I felt like it would be a really good pairing with the CC cream, the Honey Trick and Treat, since that already starts me off with such a nice glowing effect. Highlighter, I have still been loving the Pat McGrath Labs Divine Rose Skin Fetish highlighter that came out as part of that Divine Rose collection. I like it because the formula isn't super powdery. It's very pressed, and when you use it, you wouldn't think that you're gonna get much bang for your buck with it the way that you do with some other highlighters, but I really, really love the way that it applies. And I'm just gonna see how just where the light was already kind of bouncing off my skin, it just gives it this absolutely gorgeous high wattage sort of increase. I'm gonna do the same thing over here. Yeah, you don't want to fight the places on your face where the light naturally hits. So if you have a nice bright makeup light that you use and you're going in with highlighter, you don't even need a mirror. Just go, well, you do need a mirror. I'm using you as my mirror. You don't need to fight it. Apply it right where that light is already creating that accentuation, and you're just gonna like, boop, kick it up a little notch. All right, we're still doing good on time. So I'm gonna go in with my eyes. Gonna go in with my eyes really quickly. I have been using this primer from Mina. It is just the eye primer. I never really used to be super big on eye primers, but the more I use like a shimmery shadow, and of course a cream shadow, the more I find that eye primer has purpose in my life. So the eye look I've decided to do tonight is actually the one that I shared with you guys on my Instagram a couple days ago. It's been my sort of go-to lately, but I thought I would just walk you guys through it here because I didn't really walk through it on the post. I just told you guys which products I use. So going in first, this is the BH Cosmetic Diamond palette for those monthly birthstone palettes they have been dropping. And there's a shade in here, this one right here called Natural, which you usually see a color like that in a palette and you think that's not going to do anything. That's basically a base color for blending and building. But look at how this actually brightens my eyelid where I put it. And I feel like when you find a color like that, I mean, that's just amazing. I can't actually think of any other colors off the top of my head that are like that light sort of base color like that actually brighten the eye where I apply it. So I go in with that because, I mean, look at that. It gets rid of all of that little shadow play that you have going on in that inner corner without needing to go in with like a super glitter in that inner corner of your eye, which is not a look that I favor. So the next shadows that I use to get this look, I have this quad of individual pan shadows from the company Phase Zero, and I will link all of these down below for you. I actually don't remember what these all are. So I go in with Nude Newbie, which is this light one here, and that is the one that I sort of start working into the crease with. I get a lot of overlap with that color from the Diamond palette, and it really just starts to kind of create the base of this eye look and make sure that it stays amped up, very bright. The goal here is kind of like a smoky eye without getting too dark and dramatic. So once I have that sort of bit of a base down, I'm gonna go in and shape the eye with a combination of these other colors here. So it's Cashmere, which is a sheer satin, Mush-a-boom, which is a shimmer, and then a brownish color called Coffee Cup, which is another sheer satin. So I kind of just use a random combination of those and start shaping out the eye until I get it looking exactly how I want. The fact that these are shimmer and satin finish shadows is sort of the trick to keeping this from becoming too dramatic of a smoky eye. I feel like if I went in with these darker shades in particular in a matte finish, it would just be a lot more dramatic, a lot more difficult to blend. Hi Maeve, my kitten's back. So then if I feel like I'm not getting quite the amount of definition that I want, I take a slightly smaller brush and I go in with the darkest of these Phase Zero shades and I start targeting that outer third. And we're gonna build this up a little bit with a shade from another palette in a second. But it really is just all about the size of the brushes that you use here. So truthfully, you can find colors that are similar to this to get the same kind of a look. If you're struggling to do it with the equipment you have, focus on the brushes more than the shadows. Hi, am I doing your makeup too? Okay, so now to finish this out, I'm gonna be going in with the Jouer French Riviera eyeshadow palette. I reviewed this whole collection for you guys in its own video, but this color here in the bottom center called Bronzage, I think that's how you say it, I don't know. I take that and I kind of fill in this outer third portion of my eye, and this just kind of deepens up that color. But again, because it's shimmer and because it's bronze instead of a dark gray, for instance, it keeps it from becoming too dramatic or too heavy. And then my favorite thing about this palette are these colors right here. This very sort of like yellowy, blue, green, pink, these shimmery, bright shades. So where I've got this nice base going on the inner third of my eyelid from that color Natural in the Diamond palette, I usually will pick one of these brighter colors and I kind of go in right over top of it. Tonight I'm really feeling this blue color, which is Piscine, which I think is the word for pool, if I'm not mistaken. So I get a little bit of that and I just start tapping. They're really, really light. I wouldn't say these are super pigmented, which is kind of nice. I'm not necessarily going in to create a crazy 80s blue eyeshadow look, but you can kind of see the hue that starts to build up as you go in with it. And I have experimented with this before as well. Going in with a fingertip is going to get you a little bit more color payoff. All right, feeling pretty good about that. The last thing I do is take a really small brush, very small, very detailed brush, and then I'll usually take one of the mid-tone from the Phase Zero, so some of those slightly darker shades that I was using, and I will trace these down underneath the lower lash line, so that way you kind of don't just lose the shape of the eye by not putting anything down there. And I find that putting just eyeliner down there makes it look a little too naked. So I'm gonna pop on some Jones Road Beauty The Best Pencil Eyeliner. I like this one because it's just really easy to use and it's very quick. So I will usually go in and do a little bit of tight lining under my lashes. And then I'll take it down on the lower lash line as well. Lightly, and I'm not too concerned about getting it on here perfectly because we're going to blend it out. And then I'll do on the lid, on that outer third or so. And here again, not super concerned about getting it on there perfectly because I'm going to blend all this out with a pencil brush in just a second. The most important thing is making sure that I take it out beyond the edge of the upper lid and connect it to what's going on down on the bottom. Last but not least, we're going to go in with mascara, and today I'm going to be using the MAC Magic Extension. This MAC Magic Extension is a fiber mascara which claims to have, I think it said, the box said something like about 5mm length fibers. So you put on a coat, you kind of give it a second, and then I find the most effective way to use this is to, when you go in and coat it again, the fibers will kind of stick to themselves on that first coat and give you that extra crazy length. So that's what one coat looks like as compared to nothing on my left eye. And now I'm going to go in and layer a little bit, and that is where we get with this MAC Magic Extension mascara. Okay, so that is that part done. And then last but not least, for lipstick tonight, I'm going to use something else from the Jouer French Riviera collection. This is the lipstick that came with that collection called Honey Kiss. It's just a really beautiful, easy nude shimmer. I never like to do really heavy matte lipstick when I'm going to dinner or if I'm going out for drinks because it just wears off so quickly. Whereas I feel like with a shimmer or something that is just a few shades off from the skin tone of your natural lip color, you can kind of get away with it for a little bit longer. So I do wish it was a little bit more pink, but that's it. That's the final look for my birthday dinner tonight. So now I have 12 minutes to go and get myself dressed, put my jewelry on, pick my perfume. So that's going to be it for the Get Ready With Me. But thanks for hanging out. I hope that you enjoyed it. Do go and check out the Honey CC, Hey Honey Trick and Treat CC cream. It's so good. You guys, would you know that this isn't foundation if I hadn't told you it wasn't foundation? I don't think you would know. I really don't. So that's it for tonight's video. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye-bye.